Hey, Maria, back with another video. It's 8:10 p.m. Friday evening, July 6th, and I am definitely trying to get some relaxation right now. So I was watching a few videos this afternoon, and I watched a lot of them. I probably watched maybe about 20 of this lady's videos. Her name is Leslie Crawford. And, I haven't watched all of them, but I'm pretty determined to watch as many as I can, only because of her situation and how she's describing how many of the employers who get involved in her targeting and the over abuse of their perceived power, how they abuse it, and how sick these people can actually be. So it got me thinking about protecting people from this. Like oftentimes people get suckered into it. I mentioned before about how people think, well, this person has authority, so therefore these people must be right. They have the right to do this. They're right to do it. No, they are not. Okay. If anybody is going to launch an investigation, usually it's like, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, these sort of organizations that have the right to do it. And they don't need the population to assist them, okay? These sort of investigations are illegal, okay? Especially when it comes to prying into your personal life. That is where people get, I guess, power hungry. Like they feel as though there's nothing that they can't do. It's understandable that an employer wants to trust an employee, but so oftentimes, they'll do, criminal background checks and stuff like that, which is understandable. But as far as, infiltrating themselves into your life, putting a house under surveillance, putting your car under surveillance. Now, like, if it's a company car or if it's a company cell phone, then they probably have the right to do that, okay? But as far as in this sort of intrusion into your personal life, it's just plain wrong. And, oftentimes they, she was describing how she would go to different employers, and these people were, I guess, referring to this investigation. There's nothing to investigate. These people are basically abusing power. And oftentimes, in my case, it started off with a domestic issue. My family has been nosy. They've been intruding in my personal life for a very long time. But in situations where it originates from an employer, okay, where it originates from an employer, where an employer, for example, in my case, where, this person is extremely power hungry, they feel as though their opinion matters in the personal life of another person, and they want to enforce or what do you call it? They want to try to impose their personal views and lifestyles, likes, or whatever personal taste onto a particular person. And so they, get this mob together to where they feel as though they have the right to say what a person does. Sometimes people go so far as to be nosy as to who your friends are, who you're dating, these sort of things. And this is completely wrong. They have absolutely no right whatsoever. So in some cases where employers, like, they might go to a neighbor of one of your neighbors, or they might go to one of your friends' houses or whatever, and try to say, well, we're their employer, blah, 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 and we are conducting an investigation. This sort of stuff happens a lot, okay? And what people can do to stop this and put a stop to it is basically say, well, you know what you're doing is illegal. Start learning what is illegal, what's legal, and what is not illegal, because you could actually put an end to this crime. You could put a stop to it. And it's in the power of each person to inform themselves, as to this sort of illegal activity, because it is illegal, okay? And so many people's lives are being cut down and destroyed by these sort of power-hungry, illegal, these power-hungry type people. And it could be stopped. It could be put a stop to it. And there's a lot of people who participate in this sort of stuff not knowing that it's illegal. Like, for example, I think some of the employers here thought, well, Karen Johnson's behind it, therefore she has the right to say this, this, and this. No, she doesn't have the right to say this, this, and this. Especially since I'm not even her employee anymore. But even if I was her employee, there's only so very much a person can do. She's supposed to evaluate my work, nothing else. So these people are have this, I don't know, grand, this distorted view of power. And it's these power hungry people that are destroying the lives of other people. So you have the power and you have the right to stand up, and don't be afraid to stand up. So oftentimes, like I said, you got an employer, they're telling people this is what you're supposed to do. Learn the laws. You may not have to know all of them, but do know that anything that relates to your personal and your private life that has something to do with work, okay? Now, I'm not saying you're a meth addict, because, obviously people don't want, meth going on in their companies, or people selling drugs, or these sort of things. And I understand that sort of thing. I get that, okay? So they do have rules in place for those sort of things. But I'm talking about people, intruding into your personal life, choosing your friends, telling your friends to not contact you, blah, 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 blah. Or, orchestrating something that happened similar to what happened to me, okay? All this kind of stuff's going on. And so, like I said, it's in the power of the people, within a community to put a stop to this form of what I call genocide and a hate crime. This girl was talking about some of her stories that she experienced. And, some of the things, I had overheard what people were saying about me, but I couldn't quite get all of it. But it seems like this girl got an earful. And some of the things that she overheard, like people saying, well, you need to get her a man, or these sort of things, okay? Talking about how, that she needs a husband, she needs a man or whatever. That's nobody's business. That is just going beyond the role of a manager. And I think some people like management because they like that sort of power. They don't really care about being or organizing or structuring a company and making sure systems are in place. They like to abuse power. This is what a lot of people are into. And this is what is destroying so many workplaces. So if it's in your power to identify what is wrong, what is illegal, what is not legal, what is legal, and what is not illegal. As far as people infiltrating themselves into the personal lives of other people, this is wrong, okay? So recognize it. And so you can help put a stop to this. Anyway, I'm going to slow down tonight, and I'm trying to get as much rest as I possibly can. This has been a very exhausting time period for me. And I was watching this girl's videos. Her videos go back 10 years, okay? So I have a lot of catching up to do as to what she's going on in this lady's life in the present moment. But I will say, it's just amazing to me how this sort of stuff can go on. And this arrogance that people have to think that this sort of thing is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And, I'll be watching some more of her videos probably tomorrow, as I kind of toggle between my Cell Block H. I'm trying to catch up on all the episodes that I kind of missed or didn't quite grasp back then. And I'm enjoying the review of that old show. But every once in a while, a video will pop up in front of my face, that's relating to targeted individuals, and I will watch it, okay? And I really don't like being on the subject, because I'm trying as much as I possibly can to heal from all the trauma, all the abuse, all the ridiculous, the anger, the frustration, the depression, all of it, okay? It is extremely heavy on a person, okay? But when I hear these other stories, it makes me realize just how screwed up things are in this present day, and age, where people are abusing these sort of rights and these privileges, and they are literally destroying people, and it's something that people need to be aware of, because it's that common. These psychotic, narcissistic employers, okay, and sadly an ignorant population that is so blind to what is right and what is wrong that they go along with it. This needs to stop, you know what I mean? So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you will think seriously about this issue and help put a stop to it, okay? Just remember, nobody has the right to enforce these sort of bullshit rules. Nobody has the right to impose their will, their desires, their personal taste on another person. And they sure as hell don't have any right to tell people who they can and cannot marry, who they can be friends with, who they can do this sort of thing. It's wrong, okay? There are certain things an employer can do when it relates to the job, okay? But anything outside of that is just over the top. And what I feel is though these people have really done a lot to me. You know what I mean? They have really taken a lot of years off my life, literally. When I think of how long this has been going on and how to this present day I'm still feeling the effects of it. Okay? It is a very depressing situation to be in, and I'm angry. I'm very angry. You know what I mean? So anyway, try to protect your loved ones and make sure that you remember this information. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.